Good morning, Bryce. Thank you for coming. Please help yourself to breakfast and honestly sponsored. Moshe is given instruction, Sororis HaMidyanim v'Yikismasam, harass the Midianites and smite them. So the question that's been raised is normally speaking, when Jews go to war, we have a set of ethics that when you come to a city, you're supposed to reach out to it in peace. So this seems to be contradictory because with the Midianites, show no mercy, just smite them, harass them. Why is that the case? So the Medrash points out that when it comes to nations that try to wipe us out, like Edom, Egypt, they were trying to wipe us out physically. But the Midianites were trying to wipe us out in this world and the world to come. They wanted us to sin in the world to come. It's not just physical survival, but our spiritual survival was at stake. And that's why we have a tougher standard when it comes to the Midianites. So the Midrash also points out that if you go against what God says, if you have pity on these nations, when God tells you don't have pity, you pay a steep price. And the Midrash talks about the fact when Amnon's king Nachash died, David HaMelech wanted to send a delegation to his son Hanan to offer condolences. God didn't tell him to do it. And what happened was they went to offer condolences, and they said that they're spies, and basically speaking, they shaved off half their beards and rent their clothing and sent them back in humiliation. And they sensed that the Jews were weak, so they hired Aram to attack the Jews. And yes, King David was victorious, but still the humiliation of what they did was still in the air. And the Medrash takes him to task for doing so, because Shlomo Melech writes in Koheles, Al Tihit Tzadik Harbi, don't be overly righteous. If God tells you to do a certain thing, don't think you're smarter than God. If God says don't make peace with these people, don't make peace with these people. God knows what he's doing. And it's a great story of Moshe Feinstein before he immigrated to America. There was a Moser in town who was a vicious Moser, and he died peacefully. And he left instructions for the Chevra Kadisha that because he did terrible things to the Jewish community, he wanted to do tshuva. They should mutilate his body, and they should bury him outside the Jewish cemetery. So they went to Moshe Feinstein. What should we do? And Moshe Feinstein says, no, the halacha is, you bury him the way. But he wants to do tshuva. You're driving him from doing tshuva. He says, no, the halacha is the halacha. 3 weeks after they buried him, the Russian authorities came and they exhumed the grave. So they asked him, what are you looking for? He said, well, he got a letter from this individual saying that they hate the government so much that they're going to mutilate a servant of the government and they're going to bury him outside the Jewish cemetery. And they found him intact. So you see that you would think he wants to do tshuva, let's do, but you have to go with Hashem, halacha is halacha, and don't be overly righteous, and you can find yourself easily in grave danger if you're overly righteous. Stick to the plan. Have a wonderful day.